why teaching? Why is that important? Good morning and welcome into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. I'm Chris Yow, and we have got a fantastic show lined up for you. I'm headed up to Spring Hill. We've got a great interview with Spring Hill Mayor Jim Hagaman, talking a little bit about what's going on in their community. Also, Olivia Adams sat down with the owner of Joey's Italian Ice on the square here in Columbia. We'll get a little bit of information about their business, and obviously they just moved into the square, so that's exciting. We've got a lot of that coming your way, and we've got a ton more. Of course, Scott Stewart coming your way from down in Pulaski in just a moment. We have an exciting wrap for you today, so let's get into it. On the front page of Main Street Maury this week, you can find the application for funds to widen Bear Creek Pike. Columbia has done some grant writing, and they are applying to have Bear Creek Pike widened all the way from Nashville Highway to Interstate 65. You can also find a discussion from Spring Hill. They are talking about potentially increasing bond issues, and so trying to find a way to make sure that the city doesn't have to eat any money. So there's a great story on that as well. Scott Sapicki, ahead of the potential special session that is likely to be called by Governor Bill Lee here in short order, he talks a little bit about what he feels like should be on the docket in that special session. And you'll also find a story about the school bus laws here in Tennessee. Obviously, school is starting back, so it's very important that we keep an eye out for school buses. All of that and much more on the inside as well of Main Street Maury. But what I'm really excited about is this right here. This is our annual Fall Sports Preview tab. It is inside this week's Main Street Maury. You make sure to pick up the paper because you're going to find a ton of information on all of our football playing schools in Southern Middle Tennessee, all of the Lawrence County schools, everyone in Maury County, as well as Summit and Independence up in South Williamson County. You'll also find on the inside, this is my pride and joy, I can't not tell you about it, a helmet schedule. So if you're looking for a composite schedule for all of our teams, you can actually find the schedule here inside, right in the double truck. You can pull it right out and put it up on the wall. So it's a really perfect spot in this tab, and you can find information on not just football teams, but also we've got information on middle school football. You can find information on local volleyball teams, girls soccer, golf, and cross country. So there is a ton of information in this tab. So make sure to pick up Main Street Maury wherever you can. We have several copies at our office at 315 West 7th Street. So we're going to send you down now to Pulaski, where Scott Stewart is standing by with the Pulaski Citizen Wrap.
Hey everybody, I'm Scott Stewart, and this is the wrap for the Pulaski Citizen. Gail Wooliver is our Citizen of the Week, and she's holding down that top spot on the front page this week. The County Commission is trying to determine the condition of all the county's buildings, and really right now they're wrestling with the cost of what it's going to do just to find out what's needed to keep these buildings operational. That's on the top of the front page. Pulaski City Hall looks like it hasn't looked in a long time, with the big magnolia trees that were out front gone. Our friend Harold Wisdom up at First National Bank, he got a shot of it early in the morning, Monday morning, and we put that on the front page thanks to Harold for letting us use his picture. City Hall looks a lot like it had never looked, and they're going through a lot of renovations up there throughout this year. Fiber expansion is going wide open at PES Energize, and we've got a report on where and when the fiber is coming to different parts of their service area. The Ardmore, Tennessee Board of Mayor and Aldermen passed a hometown hero resolution recently for Lee Hodges. He's a former Ardmore High School graduate and a professional golfer who just recently won his first PGA Tour event. And so the Ardmore, Tennessee Board of Mayor and Aldermen has honored Lee for his success on the links. Inside this week, the Ardmore Library gets a technology accessibility grant. We spotlight our favorite local realtors with a few of their listings. As part of the Main Street Media Company, the Pulaski Citizen is proud to sponsor the Main Street Awards for Giles County. And you can pick up a copy of this week's paper for more details. Giles Pass this week features Bodenham, and also in this week's paper, as usual, we got obituaries, backward glances, property transfers, court docket, community briefs, church page, funny games. We've got a school board story and economic development story. We got all kinds of stuff in the Pulaski Citizen this week. You just need to pick up your copy and to find out everything that's going on. We'll be right back after this.
Having a good, confident smile and being able to portray that positivity to others is really helpful.
A professional family atmosphere is what we get every time we come here.
Our hygienists do a better job at kind of assessing mouths and coming up with plans than most dentists do.
They're very kind and they're very aware of other people.
I think if there's things that I would want you to leave here with, I want you to feel like you were heard, that we listened to you, and I want you to feel like that your concerns were addressed.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated cost plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Welcome back into Mornings on Main Street. I'm Chris Yow, and today I am here on Mayor's Corner with Spring Hill Mayor Jim Hagaman. Thanks for taking some time with us today.
Glad to be here, sir. Thank you for coming.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in Spring Hill right now. Obviously, you guys have been making a lot of moves recently with the USTA and a lot of great development coming to town and obviously the growth. But what is kind of one of the big things that you guys are working on right now here in Spring Hill that folks need to know about?
Yes, sir, Chris. So you did mention the USTA, and we're really excited about that because the United States Tennis Association is going to set up shop here in Spring Hill. And what that is, that's a major economic driver for our citizens. It will generate millions and millions of dollars of revenue that we can use to put into projects that we have coming down the pike, mainly for infrastructure. It is also an economic draw for people that will come from all over the United States, and I'm told all over the world, to play tennis here. And so those people that would never come to Spring Hill will see what a great city Spring Hill is.
Well, and like you said, it's an economic driver, and a lot of the things that you guys need to be paying for, folks from out of town are going to be helping pay for roads. They're going to be helping pay for that huge sewer project that's coming down the line, and that's got to take. It's got to take place here soon. There's just a lot of huge needs in this city, and the growth with the commercial side seems to be one of the ways that you guys plan to pay for this.
That's correct. We have, I believe that we in Spring Hill have, opposite of the commercial side, our residential side, we have many, many residential homes and townhomes and apartments that we already have in the city. But in addition to that, we have, I'm told, around 9,000 additional vested rights for more homes, apartments, and townhomes to go in. So we have enough of that in Spring Hill. We have enough of that planned for. And those are economic drivers, those are revenue generators as well. But what we don't have are things like the USTA and some other things like different grocery stores and industrial things that we have planned, which will ultimately help us pay for the infrastructure improvements that we need to make. So we're very excited to bring things in what we do not have or we do not have enough of.
Now, one of the things that you guys recently talked about is how to make sure the city isn't losing money on things like developments, where you guys have to come in and maybe pave a road or something that you weren't expecting to have to pave or things like that. So obviously having more money in the coffers is a good thing, and this is just one of the ways that you guys are doing it. There are a lot of other things coming down the line. Kedron Square is still ongoing, and keeping in the crossings real quick. A lot of folks don't know, unless they're reading Main Street Maury, of course, that the folks developing the crossings are going to be doing some major improvements to the intersection on Kedron Road and coming off of Saturn Parkway, and some of that's already started.
That's correct. I will just say this as well, so that the USTA is going to go into what is the crossings right now,
Right.
behind the Target R. If you're familiar with our area where the road currently goes around by the movie theater, it will be extended onto Kedron, which will give ingress, egress into this development by the USTA, as well as a hot shot in onto 396, which is we call Saturn Parkway. But we have on the books, we have for our we have these things called developer impact fees. So besides the taxes that's generated to help us pay for infrastructures, the developers hold a responsibility for that as well, and we manage that. But in addition to that, other revenue generator sources that we have that we try to go after, which is very important, is grants.
Sure.
At the state level and as well as at the federal level. And so they're competitive in most cases. And those competitions, are done by our neighbors to the south in Columbia, great neighbors, our neighbors to the north, Franklin, great neighbors, and everybody else, every other municipality. We have some amazing, talented, gifted grant writers that are working for those grant monies that will help defray some of the costs that are paid on by the developers as well as the taxpayers. And so all of those monies, all those revenue generators that we put in the pot, then the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, our elected officials, will decide which gets the priority and how much money is spent. It's a great system. I'm so proud to be part of it.
Now, in addition to those, the things on this side in Maury County, obviously June Lake is a massive project. The interstate interchange has been initially October. Oh, we're going to get it done early in March. Oh no, it's going to be June. Now it's going to be December. Obviously construction changes and all of that sort of thing. But as it starts to come together, you can see it now. What does that mean, that Northern Gateway mean to Spring Hill?
Right, thank you. So yeah, June Lake, it's a 775 acre development that will be developed as all the above, which means we're going to have retail there, we're going to have shopping, we're going to have restaurants, we're going to have homes, we're going to have more apartments, more townhomes, and certainly individual homes. That I-65 interchange that's coming on will be not only a access and egress and ingress to that June development of 775 acres, which will be developed over a 20-year period of time.
Right.
So it'll be done in sections. It's not all at once.
It's not 775.
That's usually how develops go when there's a lot of acres involved, because that money is a driver on that. But that interchange is a significant improvement to the infrastructure, road specifically infrastructure issues that we have here in Spring Hill. So that will take off. The studies have been done that will take off the traffic that is generated on Highway 31, for example, as well as Buckner Lane, which is a north-south corridor. The 65 interchange will take a lot of that traffic in, if you're going to head north or south, usually north to Nashville, to help us defray some of the issues that we have with traffic congestion now. It is a well thought out, well planned. The developers there in June Lake, hats off to you guys for that. And
well, and in addition, obviously, the city is also going to be widening, like you said, Buckner Lane.
Yes.
That's going to go from Duplex all the way to Thompson Station Road.
Correct.
Parts of Thompson Station Road is already done, but this is a way for, like you said, to get folks off of Highway 31. But it's also a way to avoid what we so lovingly call, sorry, Thompson Station, the spotlight. You don't have to, you can avoid that now because you don't have to get to that bottleneck with the June Lake interchange. So there's a lot of great things that are going on in Spring Hill. How, just as an overall, how are you feeling about the state of Spring Hill right now, where obviously we've got the Budget and Finance Committee meeting that's happening tonight before as we're taping this, but yeah, you're getting your audit back. It's clean. Seems like you guys are in good footing, on good solid ground. How do you feel about the state of Spring Hill going forward for the next several years?
yeah, so when I was elected as mayor 2.5 years ago, I made it a point to be representative of the citizens first. The citizens must win for Spring Hill for me to be supportive of whatever project is coming down the pike. There is a team of elected officials and there is a team of staff on payroll here in Spring Hill that I believe are strongly in alignment with those values, the values of the citizens coming first. And as those projects and as the smart growth and responsible growth come to fruition, I'm very excited as we look forward to the different things that we have coming, that it was a win for the citizens. And part of what that is in regards to being representative of the citizens, I am ultimately and adamantly to be as transparent as possible. So I, along with my team, we created a budget transparency task force. We created a citizen election task force, which give us input to help make more informed decisions, but not us as decision makers, but it gives the citizens vested rights to come in and give their opinions and their expertise and whatever skill sets they may have to help us and to help them to be the best it can be for Spring Hill. So I'm really actually excited as we look to the future of Spring Hill, because as I stump for this city, I say, yeah, this is the greatest city in Tennessee. And I'm right, because it is the greatest city in Tennessee. And we do have some kinks to work out, but we are working them out, or we have a plan to work them out. And it's because of the team that I'm surrounded with is that all this is happening.
Mayor, again, thanks for taking time with me. I appreciate it. Looking forward to talking with you again soon.
Yes, sir. I just want to say to the people that are watching this or that will watch this, that Main Street Maury is a great publication, fully supported, and thank you for helping us, Chris, get the word out.
We'll be right back on Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee, right after this.
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. I am Olivia Adams, and I am joined by Joe Curry, who is the owner of Joey's Italian Ice, which I believe just opened up. Is that correct?
Yeah, first Friday.
Okay. And how was it the first Friday? Did you have a lot of customers that came in?
Yeah, it was busy. We had a line out the door almost all night. So
wow.
Yeah.
And so just tell us what you serve. Obviously, Italian Ice, but is there anything else?
So we serve soft serve ice cream, which can also be made into milkshake sundaes. We also serve an affogato, which is ice cream, or our cream Italian ices with a shot of espresso poured over the top.
Wow.
But we specialize in Italian ice. We make it all here. We don't use any high fructose corn syrup, no artificial flavors, no dyes. Over 15 options are dairy-free, fat-free, gluten-free. And even the cream ices we make with an oat cream. So they're still dairy-free as the base, but the ingredients like the peanut butter cups or the brownies, those may have some of the allergens. But other than that, we try to keep it as clean as possible.
So what made you want to open up here in Maury County on the square?
Sure.
I mean, most people, when you think of food on the square, I mean, kind of like Southern food, we're in Maury County, and here's an Italian ice place. So it's new. It's definitely different in this area.
Yeah, so my wife and I moved here about a year and a half ago from New York. We grew up there, lived our whole lives there. And so Italian ice up north in Philly, they call it water ice. They have it in California and Florida. But it's kind of like something that's on every corner. And so when we moved here with the intention of starting a business. And when we came to visit, we just fell in love with downtown. And so we're trying to find something that would fit down here, that would look cool, kind of be a cool place to hang out, a place where you can bring your family, your children, and things like that. And when we were thinking through what wasn't here, where there could have been a gap, we thought of, hey, Italian ice, we both love it. And so let's make it our own. Let's get rid of all the syrups and the junk and see if we can do it. And it's been a good road so far.
So you said that you moved here from New York, a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about Maury County? It must, because I'm not from Maury County myself. I'm not from Tennessee. Has it been a big change for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I wouldn't say a culture shock, but New York is very every man for himself. I know you hear it like in movies and things like that, but it is really how it is. If you're not working and then working when you get home on a side job, you're really like not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And everybody's really in a rush for themselves. And so when we came to Maury County, we came to Columbia, I found myself walking quickly across the street And my wife's like, you can walk here.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, like, they'll wait for you.
Yeah,
And,
they won't run you over.
And like people would ask me like, hey, how are you doing? And then they would wait for a response. And so it's like something that you're not used to in New York. People are like, oh, how you doing? And they just keep walking. But like here, people actually were genuinely interested in how you were doing. And so that's something that, you know, we really fell in love with. And then of course, downtown is just beautiful. My wife actually, before we moved here, we picked Tennessee as a state, and she Googled cutest small towns in Tennessee during the fall. And the Southern Living article for Columbia came up. And so we came to visit, and within 3 days we had, you know, jobs to move here. We had a house locked up, and it just felt like the right move for us at the time.
So it's sort of like bringing a little piece of home, New York, here.
Yeah.
So you grew up, I assume, eating water ice, you called it, or ice water?
In New York, it's called Italian ice, but
Okay.
yeah, in Philly, it's mostly associated as a water ice. Yeah.
And just what sort of flavors do you have?
So we have 20 flavors currently. So we have about 16 natural like fruit flavors that we color with, you know, blue spirulina powder, red beet juice, all natural flavor colorings as opposed to the syrups. And so we have like orange pineapple, peach, mango, blue raspberry, cherry, lemon, mixed berry, toasted coconut, pina colada. And then we also have our cream ices that are a little bit more on like the typical close to ice cream side, but they're still primarily water-based. And that's your fudge brownie, peanut butter cup, cappuccino, cookies and cream, creamsicle is a popular one.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying it out sometime myself. And finally, so you talk about wanting to kind of go all natural. What made you want to do that and make kind of healthier versions of Italian ice and ice cream?
When we started, we were just doing the cart that we have. We have a little push cart, like an ice cream cart that we were doing downtown. And a lot of people came up to us and asked if we had dyes in it. Because their kids had dye allergies. And that's something that I don't know why, but in New York, you don't really hear of.
Do they not really care
I'm
about
not
that?
sure,
Or
if
they
it's just, I have no idea, but I had really never heard of children being allergic to dyes. And so at that point, we were buying it from a supplier in New York because we hadn't acquired our machine yet. But once we did, we decided that, you know, we're not going to use dyes. And then once we decided we're not going to use dyes, we said, well, why would we use syrups if we're not going to use dyes? So let's use natural flavor. And then it was like, well, if we're going to use natural flavor, we might as well go all out and do dairy-free because majority of stuff is dairy-free, so we might as well. And so we wanted to prove that you can have something like our sign says, no artificial flavors, no dyes, no high fructose corn syrup, gluten, dairy, fat-free, and it still tastes good.
And finally, what are your hours?
So we are open every day of the week, Monday through Thursday, 12 to 9. Friday and Saturday, 12 to 10, and Sunday, 12 to 8.
Okay, awesome. Well, yeah, come check out Joey's Italian Ices. I know I'm excited to try it, and thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We'll be right back on Mornings with Main Street after this.
Let your child play like the pros this fall season and join Titans Flag Football in their NFL Flag Football League. Titans Flag Football is no contact, easy to learn, convenient with teams meeting once per week for practices and games on Sundays. And we cannot forget, it's ridiculously fun. Teams are co-ed with ages from pre-K through 8th grade in select locations across Middle Tennessee. Visit TitansFlagFootball.com and sign up before registration closes on September 4th. Let's play together and win together this fall season with Titans Flag Football.
Welcome back into Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. Time now to take a look at sports. We've got Mo Patton and Wade Neely. So we'll start in Maury County with Mo.
Thanks, Chris. This week's Main Street Maury sports section in print today has coverage of Post-19's run over at the Southeast Regional Tournament over in North Carolina. Unfortunately, it was a short run as they won their opener before dropping their next two and were eliminated. But also we've got coverage of, well, not coverage, but we've got an article getting folks ready for high school football because preseason final scrimmages are coming up this weekend, and we take a look at who's where. And of course, we'll be taking a look at who's where later this week for coverage in next week's Main Street Maury. One final thing, well, two things that we've not mentioned. In this week's Main Street Murray, we've got next week's high school sports schedule for golf, cross country, girls soccer, and volleyball, because in addition to football, all of that starts up next week as well. So again, pick up a copy of this week's Main Street Murray to see who's playing what next week. And we've got our 2023 fall sports preview section, 32 pages coverage of all of the fall sports at all of our schools, again, including golf, cross country, girls soccer, volleyball, in-depth looks at all of our area football teams as well, Mostradamus's region predictions, and a cover story on new Columbia Central coach Tredarius Goff. So be sure and pick up this week's Main Street Murray, and be sure and check us out on mainstreetmurray.com as well. Thanks.
Thanks, Mo. We're going to go now to Pulaski, where Wade Neely is standing by.
Big week of sports action here in the Pulaski Citizen. We kick things off right on the very front page where Lee Hodges, the former Ardmore Tiger himself, fresh off his first ever PGA Tour victory, was recognized at a recent city meeting where he was presented a hometown hero recognition. Lee winning that 3M Open. Lee is out in Memphis this week for the St. Jude FedEx Cup Playoff Classic, and he is on a tear in the top half now of the PGA FedEx Cup rankings, and we certainly hope and wish all the best for Lee going forward. A lot of folks in northern Alabama and a lot of folks in southern Middle Tennessee very excited to see Lee Hodges, former Alabama golfer, stand out, getting his first victory at that 3M Open just a couple of weeks ago. That's on the front page. When you flip into sports this week, big news coming out of UT Southern. Men's soccer head coach Brian Davies has stepped down, taking another position away from campus, and in will step Brett Boland, who is bear with me here, folks, he is a former Martin Methodist coach who has recently returned to UT Southern. I think I got that right. He will now step in as the interim coach for this season. He's got a lot of experience, but Coach Davies has stepped down. Coach Brett Boland will step in to coach in the 2023 season, which kicks off in less than 2 weeks. Other features in this sports edition here this week, we have photos, plenty of photos from both Giles County and Richland as they have gone through their summer camps and now are into their final tune-ups preseason games as Richland took on Mount Pleasant. We have art from that one. We also have Giles County versus Tullahoma art from that one. And as always, in print, you can read our column from our good friend, Mr. Larry Woody. Coming up, football. The middle school programs have already gotten underway. South Giles opened their season on August the 1st, and all 3 county schools, middle schools that is, will be in action at some point over the next 7 days. We'll have notes on that. We'll have notes on Giles County and Richland as they get ready to crank up their respective seasons next Friday night. Richland will host Lincoln County, and Giles County will host a 5A powerhouse, the Page Patriots. So look for football content next week, but we also have a lot of stuff coming out of UT Southern, and we also have got those other sports covered here as golf and volleyball are both officially underway for both Giles County and Richland. All of that and more. Reminder, if you miss it in print, you can catch it every single week online at PulaskiCitizen.com. I'm Wade Neely saying so long here from the Pulaski Citizen.
They have always met wildest expectations as far as taking care of my teeth and my health. You know, teeth health is very important now to your heart. And I told him one day, I said, I'd love to have nice teeth and nice hair. And he said, well, I can take care of the teeth, but I can't take care of the hair. And I said, you can make my teeth? He said, yeah. I said, well, let's go for it. And he did. And I have been tremendously pleased. Dr. Hart, if you need him at night, he's here. This staff here will take care of you 24/7. You don't have to worry about, I can't get a hold of my dentist, my tooth's hurting. No, they will be here for you. And if I could get Dr. Hart to take that same artistry that he has and grow hair, then he would be double rich.
And that's going to do it for Mornings on Main Street, Southern Middle Tennessee. One more time. Looking forward to another great week. So please come back right here on Main Street Media TV